then there is the third level. The third level I call the mental body. The mental body is that instrument by which we record all of life's events. Now, people always ask me, well, isn't that the brain? Isn't the brain where the memory is at? And I would have to say no. In modern neuroscience, it is known that the brain has a number of circuits that explain short-term memory, but we do not have the circuitry for long-term memory. And let me give you a quick example of that, because it was exciting in my development. This was a patient with Alzheimer's disease who was in the hospital. He had already lost, according to the MRI, 40% of his brain mass, which is usually the point at which an Alzheimer's patient dies. And his daughter asked me, she knew that I was experimenting with hypnosis and hypnotherapy techniques. She asked me if I would go there and try to put him under hypnosis. And so I did. And this is a man who hasn't spoken in 8 years, who was completely unconscious as far as we could tell. So I put him under hypnosis. In hypnosis, he woke up. So for 2 hours, this man woke up from his stupor and talked completely coherently with his daughter. He remembered every single event of his lifetime, not only from like when he was 3 or 4 years old, but he remembered his birth, he remembered the time before birth, and gave absolute accurate accounts of everything that had happened to him. And we know from a neurophysiological point of view, he did not have those parts of the brain that are usually associated with the memory. And I'm postulating that the place where memory is stored is the biophoton field. It's part of the electromagnetic system around our body. And the brain is nothing else but a receiver that tunes into the memory storage in this field.
Wow, that's intriguing. When did you come up with that understanding or belief?
I'm friends with a famous German physicist, Dr. Fritz Albert Popp.
Oh my gosh, he's the leader in that.
And Dr. Popp is the leader in the field in understanding the biophoton field. And let me give you like a few other sort of pearls that came out of that association. It is known in biology that every cell in the body has over 100,000 biochemical reactions per second. And these biochemical reactions need to be carefully timed and sequenced with each other. And physicists and biochemists and biologists have looked for years what is the organizing principle that organizes this sophisticated dance of biochemistry in us. And here's the sort of short answer of it. The DNA in each cell vibrates at a frequency of several billion hertz, which is unfortunately the same range at which the modern cell phone communication systems work at. And the DNA contracts and extends like a coil several billion times per second. And every time it contracts, it squeezes out one single biophoton. And this biophoton, a light particle, and that photon contains all the information which genes are active in the moment, which ones are transcribed, which ones are methylated and silenced in this moment. It carries the information of everything going on in the DNA. And we know from physics that one single biophoton is able to carry more than 4 megabytes of information, one single photon, and communicates this information outside the body to other biophotons which path it crosses. And then through various phenomena that are well understood in physics, like through coherence, through modulating the frequencies, through modulating the amplitude, and through a property of biophotons called squeezed light. All the photons that are emitted from the body communicate with each other. We are surrounded by a light field that is highly, highly structured and is the actual carrier of what we call long-term memory. And this light field is what regulates the activity of our metabolic enzymes. So the information transfer on biophotons is bidirectionally. That means the DNA sends information out, and on the same photon, the information of all the other biophotons from the body in this moment is broadcasted back to the cell, and the actual light receiver in the connective tissue and in the cell is a tubulin, and that becomes important for our other work, because tubulin is a light conductive molecule that is so densely spread in our tissues that if you would strip a body of everything other than tubulin, we would still recognize each other. And so the tubulin receives the light impulse and conducts it at the speed of light throughout the body to every place in the body. And the metabolic enzymes, for example, in the mitochondria, are lined up carefully in sequence on tubulin molecules. So this light information is translated in the inside the cell into activating or inactivating our metabolic enzymes. And now here's a couple of points that are important in this. One, the toxin that at the very lowest concentration of all the toxins ever tested destroys the tubulin is mercury. Mercury has an absolute unique place in this, that it disrupts the light transmission from our biophoton field to the cell, to the metabolic enzymes. That means it disconnects the intelligent organizing force that organizes our biochemistry. And of course, the other aspect is that we're talking about the light body, that the light body can be influenced with light. That would be the natural tool to work with to modulate the activity in the biophoton field. And so in the last few years, I've started using more and more tools that work with light. So these are just two points I wanted to make. Now this is all at second and third level jargon. Yeah, so we don't just exist on the basis of biochemistry. There is a large part of our life force, and what we deal with in health and illness has to do with physics.
Hello, this is Dr. Mercola, and I sure hope you enjoyed the interview as much as I did, but I want you to know it's only a small segment of the complete 2 to 3 hour full interview I did. And those interviews are available to members of my inner circle. And every month, members of my inner circle will receive a complete 2 to 3 hour interview of one of the top health experts in the world who is willing to share their secrets they've learned over a lifetime to help you and your family take control of your health. In addition to that, inner circle members also receive a 2-hour DVD full of health information that you can use as an alternative to watching commercial TV, and a 24-page printed newsletters that's mailed directly to your home every month. And it is one of the best values I've ever put together. It's a complete no-brainer. I encourage you to join. There's absolutely no risk at all, because for any reason at all, you are now completely 100% satisfied. My customer service team has clear, specific instructions to give you a prompt refund. So it doesn't get any better than that, and I encourage you to take advantage of this special offer so that you and your family members can start to take control of your health.